guys, I hope you're doing well. I'm back finally. Sorry it's been a while since I did a video, but today I'm here to talk to you about one of my favorite foundations, which is the Revlon Colorstay. And this isn't a new foundation for me. This is something that I've been using for quite a while, but I just never really reviewed it because a lot of other reviews are already out there about it, but recently I've discovered a newfound love for Revlon Colorstay. So I kind of wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about why this foundation is good and what uses it has and who it would be suitable for. Obviously everyone's looking for something different in a foundation, but recently in my life, this foundation has been a lifesaver because I started a new job and I've been commuting back and forth to my job, and it's been about 12-hour days, so I really, need a makeup that is going to stay on my face all day and that is not going to sweat off, it's not going to be greasy looking by the end of the day, and I do have normal to oily skin, kind of more like a combo oily skin, so I've had a really hard time finding a foundation that won't keep my face looking fresh all day, and it's been kind of like a hunt. And then I realized, well, my solution was right in front of me the whole time. So this is the Revlon Colorstay. This is what it looks like. It's about $10 at your drugstore. You can sometimes get it cheaper depending on the sales that are going on. I got it, I think, if you have coupons for like Ulta, sometimes you can get it for as cheap as like $6. It comes in two formulas. It comes in a combination oily formula and also in a normal to dry formula. The combination oily formula is what I use, and it has a matte black cap. The normal to dry formula has a clear plastic cap on top of the black, so that's kind of a way you can distinguish between the two. It has SPF 6 in it, which is nice, which isn't a lot of SPF, not enough to like ruin a photo or something like that, but really not enough to protect your skin either, so I'm not really sure why they decided on that number, but it's just, I guess, nice to have a little something to protect yourself. Who would this foundation be good for? This is a medium to full coverage foundation. So this is, for someone who's looking for quite a bit of coverage, someone who's looking for something that's going to be really long wearing. I think the product claims to last up to 16 hours. I'm not exactly sure, but in my experience, I found it lasts about 12 hours. You can kind of begin to tell that it's wearing, about after 8 to 10 hours, but it does a really good job of staying on your face and keeping you oil-free. It's also transfer resistant, which means if you were to hug someone, it wouldn't come off on their shirt or on their clothing or whatever. And I found, which the product does not claim this at all, but I have found it to be sweat resistant. I tend to sweat a lot, especially in the summer months during the day, as I'm like running errands and really busy, and especially in this zone of my face, I start getting really sweaty, and I've found even with the sweat in the hot summer months, this really does still stay on all day. So this would be for someone who is going to be gone all day, who needs something long wearing, who likes like a natural matte finish, maybe someone like myself with oily skin who's looking to control the oil. This would not be for someone who's looking for a light coverage foundation. This would not be for someone that doesn't like to wear a full coverage foundation, wants to look really natural. This is for someone that wants a really clean, polished look. This, does have so much coverage that it will cover up freckles, blemishes, all that. You really don't have to conceal as much when you use this, which is a plus, but if you're kind of looking for that natural skin to shine through thing, what a lot of people have been talking about with Nourish Your Glow and other products like that, this probably isn't something for you. Personally, for myself, for my use, I think this is a great foundation for the working hours, Monday through Friday, 8:30 to 5:30. It will stay in place, it'll keep you looking fresh, it'll keep you looking professional and matte throughout the day, which is kind of the look I like to go for. I don't want to look super natural at my day job because I want to look like I tried. I want to look like I put makeup on during the day. If I were to go to work wearing something like Bare Minerals, for example, or another powder foundation, I would probably leave looking greasy and sweaty and just kind of gross. So I like to ensure, you know, having a really nice finish all day at work. And for me, you know, I have tried a lot of things. You know, I tried Makeup Forever, the Makeup Forever Matte Velvet Plus, which I do like still, but it has not been as good as this one as far as long wear and oil control. And then I've also tried the MAC Studio Fix Fluid, which also gets me quite oily by the end of the day. So far, you know, I'm not going to say this is like holy grail or anything, but so far this has been the best. And, you know, another great thing, it's cheap. It's from the drugstore. You know, you don't have to feel bad about using a lot of this product. If you use an entire bottle of this, it only costs you maybe $8. So, you don't have to feel like you're like using up all your expensive, really nice makeup. The only negatives to this product are it has a chemical smell, which, you know, what can you do? A lot of foundations have that kind of chemically smell. It also has a twist-off cap packaging, which makes it pretty messy. This is the one I use like every day, and you can see in the cap there's just a lot of product kind of everywhere. You have to basically dump it out onto your hand. There's no pump, which is kind of frustrating. I'm sure if it bothered me enough, I could find a pump or find another product, a package I could put this into, but it doesn't really bother me that much. Another thing about this is that some have said it's hard to blend. I don't know that it's hard to blend. You just have to get really used to how to work with the product. In all of my uses, I have a ton of different brushes, but the brush that I have found to work the best with this foundation is just a traditional foundation brush, like a MAC 190. This is my Clinique foundation brush. This is what I use. But I've just found this to be the best in that, you know, this dries really fast, so it's kind of a product you have to work very quickly with. So I just dump a little bit of the product onto the back of my hand, I get my brush in it, and then I work in sections. So I'll just start with my chin and dab and, you know, blend, and then I'll go onto my, you know, my side of my chin, and, you know, my jawline, and then up to my cheeks, and kind of around, whatever. Basically, the point of this is I'm just saying, if you dab this all over your face and then you try to go through with like a MAC 187 or a Sephora number 55 or something like that, you know, I wouldn't recommend using this kind of brush with it, just because it is hard to blend. Something like this, I mean, you could try it. I'm always, you know, experimental way, I guess. But for me, in my experience, I have found the traditional foundation brush to be the best way to apply this. And actually, I try to stay away from a traditional foundation brush, and usually with a lot of my other foundations, it's kind of like the last thing I reach for. But for some reason with this foundation, I just feel like I have a lot more control over the makeup with this kind of brush, whereas with something like this, it's really hard to kind of blend the product out because this brush is pretty flimsy. You kind of need a lot of control with this because it is a little hard to blend. So, I hope this was helpful. I'm sure a lot of you have already used this foundation, but you know, I just think it's something that like maybe I took for granted, and I just kept looking at all these really expensive foundations, and then I realized like the answer to my problem was right in front of me. So I hope you guys maybe revisit your Revlon Colorstay, or, you know, you try it out if you haven't tried it already. You know, there's a ton of drugstore foundations out there, but this one is definitely like a cult classic, you know. Everyone loves this one, so if you haven't tried it yet, you definitely should. Last remark, also I use this at a wedding. This is great for weddings because it like will last, and if you're dancing and you're sweating, you know, this is a great thing for a wedding. So if you're a makeup artist who do wedding makeups, maybe try this on some of your clients, or if you're going to a wedding this summer, definitely if you're looking for something to wear and you don't want it to be running off and sweating off in the humidity, try the Revlon Colorstay. I just used this on a friend at a wedding last weekend, and I used this on myself a couple months ago at my cousin's wedding. So this has been a great one. So I hope you guys enjoyed this review, sorry. Thanks so much for watching, and have a great day. Bye, guys.